Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is noxycharllote, also known as Noxy, and if you are returning, thank you so much for your continuous support. I am so excited today. I cannot wait for today's dish. We will be learning how to make sweet potatoes and pork chops. Yes, I know that sounds great. Let us learn some different ways of how to treat and enjoy our pork chops. Let's cook. Alright, so I am going to add all the ingredients on the description below. You know I've got you, right? So I'm going to start with our sweet potatoes. I am going to start by peeling 5 sweet potatoes as I am just cooking for 3 people. So you can make as much as you can depending on how many people you are cooking for. So I am peeling my potatoes using my peeler, which I got from at home. I love it so much. It is so sharp and it really does a great job. The reason I chose to go with sweet potatoes today is because they are very healthy. They are high in fiber. If you're a person who normally struggles with bowel movements and constipation, sweet potatoes as your starch instead of pap could really be your answer. They are very highly nutritious, have a great source of fiber, vitamins and minerals. They promote gut health and may support a healthy vision. They also support your immune system and your digestive system. Keep on peeling your sweet potatoes until you are done and place them in a bowl with water. Placing your sweet potatoes in a bowl with water will help avoid them from turning brownish. You know, sweet potatoes do tend to be very sensitive. After peeling my potatoes, I am just going to chop them up into smaller cubes or into smaller pieces just because I want them to cook faster. I want them to soften up so much quicker. So I'm just gonna keep on chopping and chopping and chopping. As I'm chopping, I am putting them into the pot that I'm going to cook them in. But before I cook them, I'm just quickly going to rinse them with lukewarm water. Okay, now after rinsing your sweet potatoes, put them back in the pot and add a cup of hot water. You do not want to put too much water because we don't want our sweet potatoes to be overcooked and to be saggy. Just put enough water to soften them up enough so that you can be able to mash them. Remember, we are going to serve the sweet potatoes as a starch and not just as a side salad. Please note, I did not add anything and I've put my heat on medium to high. I want my potatoes to cook very nicely. So I'm just going to close my pot and let this simmer for about 20 minutes. Okay, now moving on to our next step, I'm going to dice up 1 onion using one of my favorite knives. Just be careful not to chop up your fingers. We do not want anyone hurting themselves. Keep on chopping just as I am doing and you should just be fine. Okay, now I think I have a confession to make, guys. I love mushrooms and I've just realized that they tend to be in every dish that I make. Well, maybe that's because they are very rich, very yummy, and also they go very well with any meal, be it your breakfast, your stews, and even Sam. One day I am going to show you how I make my creamy Sam with mushrooms. Okay, so now slice up your button mushrooms just as I am doing. Again, be careful not to slice your fingers off. Just carefully slice those mushrooms. You want them thin, you want them in very small pieces. You want to be able to bite into those mushrooms when you are done and you are dining. Just keep on slicing up your mushrooms and set them aside and get them ready for our next step. Okay, now coming to our most important part of the dish, our meat. Today I chose pork chops. Got this from Food Lovers, nicely cut and very clean. Right, I am going to season my pork chops as you see with just salt and pepper. No spices today. Be careful to treat its pieces with love. Season them one by one. You do not want to overwork your meat, otherwise your chops will be dry. We don't want that. We want tender meat. You know pork tendencies, right? They tend to be dry when eating them. So you need to be careful. Don't rub them. Don't rub your salt onto the meat. Don't just put your salt or your spices and then you mix everything together. They need love. They need you to treat them with care. They need you to go in there with your salt one by one, just as I am doing. This is tip number 1. This is my trick to a tender pork. It tends to be dry, but tonight we do not want dry pork. Please, please, please take note of this. Okay, coming to our next step, I've heat up a large pan and I'm just gonna add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil and let it heat up. You want your pan to be hot before you go in with your meat. So I've already plugged this up. My pan is already hot. I'm just gonna test. I'm just gonna check how hot my pan is by putting my hand in there, not inside the pot, of course, just above the oil, just to see if my temperature is ready, if my oil is ready for the meat to go in. And if it is hot, then go in with your pork pieces one by one. You don't want to put your piece of meat on another piece. Just make sure that you have enough room for every piece. That is why today I am using this pan, because it can accommodate all my pieces of meat. I am just going to let this fry on each side for about 5 to 7 minutes before flipping it over. As you can see, it's brown enough. I'm just gonna flip it over and let it fry on the other side as well. Do not rush this process. Okay, now I'm going to go in with my scissor and cut off the excess fat around my pieces. I'm not going to throw this away though. I'll just let it fry until it is crispy and golden brown. I'm going to use this at the end for garnishing. If you do not like this fat, you are more than welcome to throw it away, or you are more than welcome to leave it there. But I just love it when it's crispy, and I don't want to cook it with the meat, because otherwise it's going to overcook my meat pieces and they might end up being dry. So now I've transferred my meat pieces into this cast iron pot because I just want to finish it off here. I'm going to let this fry for about 2 minutes on medium heat, just so that I can get all the flavors of the meat into this pot. I will then remove the meat into a very clean dish and set it aside while I go on with my next step. Alright, in the very same pot, add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter and let it melt. Do not put in anything until your butter has melted. Also, do not add in any oil. Your butter will just be enough. You don't need more oil. We've used enough oil already when frying our meat. Let your butter melt up before you add in anything. Once your butter has melted, you can then add your chopped up onion. Do you remember in the beginning we diced up 1 full onion? So you just want to put it in there and make sure that it is well coated in the butter. Also add a tablespoon of crushed garlic. You can use fresh garlic, or you can use the crushed garlic that you already buy crushed from any grocery shop. You know, you can find this anywhere. So now I've softened up my onion. It is ready. I'm just gonna add in thyme, about a tablespoon, and my mushrooms. I'm going to let this cook for about 2 to 3 minutes. I'm not going to overcook my mushrooms, so I'm just going to keep on stirring it. I'm just going to cook it. As you can see, this is how your pot should be looking like now. Okay, so I'm also going to add in now my chicken stock. I do not have my liquid stock, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to melt up 2 cubes of chicken stock in 1 cup of hot water, and I'm just gonna add it in there. This is what your pot will now look like. Let this simmer for about a minute or so. You just want it to cook, and you just want all the flavors to marry in there. Close your pot and let it simmer for a minute or so. After a minute or so, this is how we should be looking like. So I'm just gonna go in there with a full cup of fresh cream. Your full cup is 250 mils. Just go in there with your cup of milk. This is the clover milk that you get at any grocery shop. Nothing special about it. It's just creamy, it's just nice, it's just lovely. It goes with any meal, for your spinach, for your samp, for anything. This is the cream that we use. So I've just added up my cup of cream. This is how we look like. I'm gonna stir that up now. I'm just gonna keep on stirring for a second, just for a few seconds, and I'm gonna add in my pork pieces one by one. Remember, we are treating this with love. We want the most beautiful, tender pork pieces ever. Remember, we do not throw away juices in this house, so I'm just gonna throw that in as well. I'm gonna put all those juices back into the pot. We're not throwing any juices away. You know the importance of juices. All right, so we're just gonna let that simmer for about 2 to 4 minutes, just so that all the flavors, the cream, the stock, the garlic, the thyme, the mushrooms, you just want it to get into those nice pieces of pork. We're just gonna close that and let it simmer and wait for it before we can dish up. Now back to our sweet potatoes. I'm just going to test if they are ready to be mashed up. I'm just going to go in there with my wooden spoon and see if they need to be cooked furthermore, or if we can serve them like that. So I'm just gonna keep on checking with my wooden spoon and check if I can mash it up and check if it's ready for us to dish up. Now my sweet potatoes are perfect. I'm just gonna go in with my masher and mash that baby out. So we're just gonna mash it up. You don't want your sweet potatoes to be too saggy. Do you see what I was talking about? This is the perfect texture. This is what we are looking for. So I'm just gonna mash it up and we're gonna dish up now. I cannot wait to dine. I cannot wait to see the final dish. So we're just gonna go in first with our sweet potatoes. Put a layer depending on how much you guys eat, but 1 spoon for us is just perfect. So I'm just gonna put in my sweet potatoes there. I did say that I am cooking for 3 people. That is why we have 3 dishes there. All right, I'm then going to go in with my pork pieces and just put them on top of that sweet potato. This is how it should look. Can you see the mushrooms? Can you see the sauce dripping there? Can you even taste this? Guys? I cannot wait to eat. I promise you, my kitchen smells so great. It smells so amazing. We are just ready to dine. We are just ready to dig in. We are just ready to taste this. Go in with your pork pieces and then put those mushrooms on top of the meat. Just watch what I am doing and learn, honey. You know what, guys? Please, I beg you, learn to cook good food for yourselves. It's easy, it's simple. It does not take so much. Very cheap. This is on a budget. Who doesn't know where to get pork chops? Who doesn't know where to get sweet potatoes? You don't have to go out for good food. Yes, we go out because, once in a while, you just need some food cooked by someone else, but you really can have good food in your very own comfortable home. Look at this. Isn't this something that you would order out? please do let me know in the comments. I would really like to know what you think of this meal. I would really love to hear from you. Also, please do try out this dish and share with me. If you do have me on WhatsApp, please do send me those pictures. Please do let me know what it tastes like, even on the comments, guys. I beg. Look at this dish. Very simple, very straightforward, but also very easy to make. So I'm just gonna go in and garnish with my fresh dill. How good does that look? How good does that look? Guys, I don't want you to say you don't know how to cook. I don't want you to say I never did anything for you. Look at this. Please do not forget to like, to comment, to share, and to subscribe. Also click on the notification bell so that you can get notifications every time I upload a video. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I cannot wait to see you on our next video. I am going to eat. I am so hungry. Oh yes. Guys, this dish name, it's so simple. It's very straight to the point, but the flavors in here, I promise you. Remember, we do not put any spices. We do not put so many things this time around. Just salt and pepper, just thyme, just your chicken stock and your veggies, your onion, your mushrooms, and that's it. Look at this, guys. Look. Oh, I am so proud of myself, guys. Don't say I did not do anything for you. I repeat, do not say I did not do anything for you. I'm just gonna go in now and garnish with that crispy fat I was talking about. Ciao.